Blessings! It is an honor to connect with you and share space with you once again. Now, this is something that I've actually gotten many requests to speak on, as pretty much everyone goes through this experience as they begin to awaken and as they are on their journey of enlightenment. And that is called the dark night of the soul. Now, this is a very real and potent phase one goes through in order to fully come into embodiment of their true soul self. So the dark night of the soul is an actual phase that one goes through after first experiencing the awakening. So there are many different phases and cycles and experiences for the enlightened being, because it's literally a journey. Again, I would like to remind you that experiencing life on earth, there is no one achievement, one level we finally reach and it's like, cool, I'm enlightened for life, like I'm here, like now everything is just like roses, like everything is still roses, but you're going to continue to go through highs and lows, because literally we are here to experience, learn, and remember. And that is the beauty of this whole experience. So before even getting into it, I want to remind you that whatever phase you are in right now, whether you haven't even really begun the awakening phase where you're kind of just like, whoa, that's actually an illusion out there, like everything I've been told is a lie, like I think something's up. If you're in that phase of your journey right now, beautiful, divine, hello, it's good to see you. If you've already experienced the awakening phase and you've gone through all of the conspiracies and you're fully aware that, you know, we're here to do something, and you fully realize that there is something so much more than we've been conditioned to believe, beautiful to see you here as well. So often after one experiences the initial awakening where they're just like, whoa, perception is blown open and they finally see through the illusions and they're like, the food is poison, the people in power are corrupt, pretty much everything externally is set up for us to fail. Often one will then come to a phase where they become depressed, where they finally can see through all of the illusions and they're kind of like pissed and disappointed and feeling like, wow, why am I even here? Like, everyone's got it all wrong, like why am I even doing this? And often many people sink into a deep depression. And truly this is valid. It is super unfortunate that we are at this state as a humanity, but it's also super divine. Like, Earth had to experience this in order to go where we're going. Like, the lows are necessary for the highs. So always keep this awareness in the back of your mind. Like, as you're experiencing things, always know, that's divine. All right, okay, I accept it, and keep flowing with it. So in this dark night of the soul experience, people feel depressed, they feel sad, they also experience an identity loss. When you awaken and you realize, whoa, we're all one. We literally are all just individual expressions of the same collective source, and realize that we are literally all connected in so many ways beyond just the physical and beyond just sight, beyond race or religion or location, whatever the case may be, all those little ego concepts that were constructed in order to separate and divide us. Once you realize, like, whoa, none of those are valid, we then start to have an identity loss where aspects of our ego start to shed. Now, this is often detrimental for people because this can result in a loss of desire to even exist. For a lot of people, suicidal thoughts come up. And for me personally, I went through an aspect of this as well, where I was just like disappointed in other beings, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna deal with anyone. Like, I'd rather just post up in my own house and just like meditate and sing, and like, I'm not even gonna go out there because they don't even like, they're not ready for this. That's how I experienced it, where I was kind of just like, whoa, I'm not going to interact with humanity because it doesn't feel right. They don't know what's up. They don't understand me. They don't get me. I'm like crazy compared to them. And here they're literally sick, unhealthy, unsatisfied, and unaware. Like, that is actually what crazy is, just FYI. But I was like, I'm just removing myself from humanity as a whole. that's not the point of existence, Heather. And I had to check in with myself, where it was like, no, Heather, that's not why you're here. And so I had to go through my own journey of realizing and coming to this understanding. And I've also fluctuated through phases of sadness, where I've felt things like, I don't want to live here anymore. Like, I don't want to exist anymore. Like this, I'm done with this whole like earth experience excursion. Like, it doesn't feel good anymore. And I had to overcome that. And truly, the lows in which I have experienced have been what's made it possible for me to experience the highs that I now ride on. And so that's a really important aspect to realize in this phase of awakening and enlightenment and becoming fully enlightened, is that we actually fluctuate in and out of this consciousness, this happiness, this bliss wave, into sadness, into disappointment, into forms of depression. And that may sound like a paradox, it may sound conflicting, like, well, when I'm awakened and I'm enlightened, like, I won't ever be sad again. Like, that actually doesn't happen. Sadness is a very human and normal and natural emotion, and it's actually necessary for your journey of growth and for your expansion. But it's how you deal with it that changes and alters as you become enlightened. You now start to look at things with a less judgmental view and an understanding of them. Like, oh, okay, this is occurring, I'm feeling this emotion because I feel like this. And actually use these deeper, lower emotions as an understanding and a tool and an indication of your intuition. Like, if you're feeling emotional about something, remove yourself a little bit, come to higher self perspective, and ask yourself, okay, why is it that I'm feeling this low emotion? Whoa, it's because this is really important to me, or this really matters to me, or that really hurt. And in really just asking yourself why, you can come to the understanding of why you're feeling a certain way and not judge it and not identify with it. Know that we literally experience things temporarily. Like, there is not ever just one state, one way of being. Even truth in general is constantly evolving and adapting to every single moment. That's what truth is. Truth is what is real, and what is real for one being is going to be different for another. And what is real for one time in your life is going to be different for another time in your life. That's really just how this whole thing works. Everything is forever evolving. Everything is ever adapting. And that's the beauty. So really, like, becoming flexible and being able to navigate this, I don't even know what to call this experience. It is beyond words. Human language cannot fully describe what we are experiencing here. Like magic. I don't know. That's the only way that I can think to explain it, is magic. And again, there's good magic and there's bad magic. The polarity, the duality, that is earth life. That is what we are currently experiencing. And that is what the dark night of the soul is here to reveal to you. That good, bad, low, high, all aspects, everything, it's all divine. It's all divine, and it's up to you to dissect it accordingly and extract the medicine from every situation and every experience, and then use it to pull yourself into balance, bring yourself into better alignment and harmony without limitation and without judgment. So yes, I know that the dark night of the soul is a very intense phase to undergo, and for many it'll take years. I know lots of people who have experienced the dark night of the soul often, where they're just fluctuating in and out of this understanding of higher consciousness, and then this deep sadness, this deep depression. And that's where these old wounds start to flare up as well, and addictions start to come about, or old habits and cycles and patterns that one may think that they had healed start to come back into play. Again, those are occurring for you to acquire new understandings. And if you haven't fully healed them, even though you think you may have dealt with them and you think you may have healed and cleared them, if they are coming up to the forefront, then there's something else that you need to acquire from this understanding, from this experience, from this way of being. So that's what the dark night of the soul is here to reveal to us, are these unhealed aspects of ourself that still need healing and still have some work to do in order to clear us so we can allow our higher self, the best version of ourself, to fully integrate into our being. Because in my opinion, that is the goal, is for me to experience earth life, the highs, the lows, duality, as my higher self, as my best version, and that's coming from the heart space, that's in soul integrity, that is here for the benefit of all beings. So trust it and know that you are not alone. You are not alone. There are so many other people who are experiencing the dark night of the soul, who are fluctuating through highs and lows, happiness and depression. And even those who aren't meant to fully awakening and come into this consciousness in this life, they're also experiencing their own versions of the dark night of the soul. And for those, it's not just a phase, they're experiencing it their entire life. And that's like, we don't got time for that. We don't have time for that. So that's why we experience this like significant phase where we feel like just super disappointed and super low, and we hurt a whole bunch, and we feel like we're so different from everyone else, and we're estranged and we're alone. That's why we experience this like potent phase of the dark night of the soul, is so that we can fully clear it, have all of our wounds come to the forefront, so we're like, okay, all right, heal this, heal this, heal this, okay, extract this message, understand this, so then we can take all these tools and come to the new phase in our life. Now, this new phase in our life, it's not some magical thing where nothing bad ever happens to us. It's literally just this like fully integrated awareness of self and understanding of the whole like earth experience, where we're not attached to any one thing, being a certain way, or judging anything, where we're literally coming just like with an open heart, like, cool, whatever I experience is divine, because really it's all divine. And just in like hearing me say this, you might be thinking like, oh yeah, like I can do that easily, and then have it be really hard to actually like implement in your life. Or you could be thinking like, you're insane, Heather, like there's no way that I chose to experience these things for a reason. Like, I've been through the worst. Like, I hear people say that all the time. Like, you mean like I chose for my mom to get cancer? And like get really angry, and I'm like, whoa, like that's not your heart speaking to me. That's not your soul speaking to me. Like, that's definitely your ego speaking to me. Because unfortunately, like, not unfortunately, you did choose to experience this. We chose our parents, we chose our family members, we chose everything that we experienced. And I've probably been through like the weirdest, like most traumatic shit. Like, my childhood was extremely, well, some would consider traumatic. However, I'm not like sitting here in victim mode, like, why did this all happen to me, like life sucks. There was an aspect of that, like growing up, where I didn't really get like, why is it that I have so many hardships and all these other children like have these great childhoods. But now I understand, like, whoa, now that I'm fully integrated, and now that I'm Heather and I'm experiencing life as my higher self, I'm like, I totally get it all, and it's really all divine. And I'm actually super grateful that I went through all of those terrible experiences, because I made it through. And now I have so many tools. Like, I have so many tools to utilize on the daily. Like, now I'm showing up to every life experience fully. Like, I'm fully showing up, where I'm not fearing if something comes up that I won't be able to handle it or deal with it. Now I'm like, oh, that's occurring? Like, I got a full tool belt for that. Like, let me just bring some stuff out. Like, and it's all good. So really, everything that we have experienced and has occurred in our lives actually is divine. It really is divine. And once you fully understand this, you will be freed. It will free you. I just spit, literally like freeing things from my body right now. It'll free you once you fully understand that everything that is occurring is not occurring to you and happening to you, it's occurring for you. It's literally happening for you so that you can acquire new tools and better understandings to fully experience as your higher self. And I'm telling you, like, experiencing life as higher self and from the heart space, that is like the only way that you will be fully satisfied. Truly, truly, at least in my experience. Yeah. So yes, again, I know that the dark night of the soul is a difficult experience, and it's often very detrimental to the soul. But know that that hardship is actually what is shedding aspects of yourself that are no longer necessary and opening up room so that you can fully embody truth, fully embody unconditional love and understandings so that you can come to your fully embodied, integrated, higher self best version. So one way to keep hope through this whole experience, that's number one, by the way, is to keep hope and trust in all of these situations. Hope and faith that things are going to get better, because they really actually are. Like, trust me, things have been extremely bad for me, extremely painful and intense and traumatic, and they all got much better. I really like life now. I'm really stoked to be expressing as a human on earth. I'm really stoked right now. So keep hope and trust that it will get better, because I promise you it will. And if you believe that to be so, you literally open up the space for that opportunity to actually take place in your life. You actually allow it to come into your life, for things to actually get better, if you believe that it can. That's actually the only way. So you must believe. Also become aware of literally the magic that is occurring in every single moment. The number synchronicities, those are higher guidance desiring to remind you you are on the right path. Don't worry, don't stress. A little feather falls from the sky. That is also something that is very significant and magical, and there to remind you hey, you're not alone. You have a spiritual family, whatever you want to call it, a God, source, ancestors, angels. I refer to them all as that, actually, and I feel that there are many different aspects of support that exist for us. You have a spiritual family. You have a loving force that is guiding you, that is protecting you, and that is supporting you. And when I reference guidance, please remember that we are experiencing Earth through free will. So yes, there is a divine plan. There is a divine plan. You will make it out of this. But it is all occurring in terms of free will. As in, you make the decision, you make the choices in which you're going to do, how you're going to act, how you're going to feel, and in which ways you're going to step into this divine plan and experience this divine plan. It's all free will. So are you listening to the guidance? Because these little number synchronicities and the little voices that come into your head that are hey, maybe you shouldn't go to that place, or maybe you shouldn't do that, or don't pick up the cigarette again, don't smoke again, or whatever the situation may be. If you're not listening to that guidance, that's your free will, and then you're kind of just backtracking yourself even more, and you're gonna have to deal with it later on. So simply just listening to the guidance is also key, and it will help you to actually get out of this phase, to graduate from this phase. And I'd like to reframe that. Actually, it's not about getting out of the phase of the dark night of the soul, it's about graduating from it, because you must require the tools and the medicine necessary for you to get to the next step. That's actually the only way that you're going to be able to graduate from this phase. And again, out of free will, you decide how that occurs, you decide when that occurs. And don't try to push it. Again, simply allow. Resistance causes persistence. So in just simply allowing and being okay with wherever you're at, and being okay with however you're feeling and whatever you're experiencing, and really just honoring it and appreciating it, that is what will again open more space and allow you to come into better alignment with whatever it is that is supposed to come into your life. So yes, I love you, and again, I'm here for you. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here on earth. I'm experiencing very similar things, and I have experienced very similar things, and I made it out, and I'm continuing to make it out. So I'm here, I'm supporting you, I'm desiring to connect with you by channeling my information and my experiences through this little screen, and gifting you some energy as well and exchanging some love. So I'm here for you, and there are also so many others that are here for you too. There are so many others who are experiencing literally the exact same thing that you're experiencing. Out of the billions of people, some are experiencing similar things but in different ways. Some are experiencing the exact same things that you're experiencing. It is happening. So trust that you are not alone. You are guided, you are supported by your cosmic family, by your spiritual knowing, by your own higher self, and you will graduate from this phase. You will, I promise. You are destined. Just believe it to be so. Have faith, have trust, have hope. I love you.